Hi everyone, this is Lisa from TRW. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick little trick on how you can thicken up a font to make it easier to cut. Now, one thing I want to emphasize at the beginning of this video is that we can thicken up fonts a little bit to help. However, if you need to thicken up a font a lot, I highly suggest choosing a different one. Now, we can do changes to help, but if we're doing drastic changes, that typically means that that font is not right for what you're doing. So if you want to learn how to fix your fonts and make them a little bit thicker to cut, just go ahead and keep watching. Right, so I am in Silhouette Studio, so I'm going to cut out a decal and it's going to say welcome home. I'm going to do a little wall decal. So let me type out welcome home. And I'm going to hit Control A to select all my text in my text box. It's a fun little shortcut I like to do. And I'm going to choose a script font called Octavia Script. So you can see I have it set like this. Let me go ahead and fill it in so you can see. So I'm using this Octavia Script. I typed it out. This is going to be a wall decal, not very big. I'm going to do it less than a foot wide just so I can cut it on one sheet. Not a big deal. So a lot of times the fonts that we need to thicken up are script fonts. So the first thing I'm going to do with this script font is I'm going to weld it. Let me take the fill away so you can see. If we were to look closely at our font, you can see we have these overlapping lines. These are built into script fonts to make it look seamless between your transition, but if we were to cut it that way, it would cut that overlapping line. And so we're going to go right here to weld, and so now you can see if I zoom in again, that overlapping line is gone. So now what I need to do is I need this whole word to be treated as one object. So there are two options you can do here. You can group this together to keep it grouped together, but technically this will be 4 different objects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it a compound path, which means it's going to be one object all together. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to make compound path. Now, one thing to note, I do have a video where I'm explaining the difference between grouping and compound path. If you want to get a review on that, go ahead and check out the description below. I'll link that in there for you so you can check it out later. But let's get back to this design. So let's go ahead and fill it in. I always love filling in my designs right away because it makes it easier for me to see. And so this will cut okay, but I want it to be a little bit thicker. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to our offset panel and we're going to choose offset. So you can see this line is made around it now. That line's way too thick. The trick to thickening up your fonts is that you want it to be very subtle, just enough to give it a little bit more space. So I'm going to go to this distance here and I'm going to type in 0.02 and hit enter on my keyboard. Now when you hit enter, it just gives you a preview. You're not actually setting it yet. But because I zoomed, I did set it. Just one thing to keep in mind. So let me go back. Let me hit Control Z. So you can see I'm going to go ahead, set this to 0.02, and you can see a nice subtle line. So let's go ahead, hit apply, and then see how these are separate boxes here. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control E on my keyboard, which is the same as making a compound path. So now we have our original and we have our new one. So you can see a little bit thicker, but not too bad. Now you can adjust it. You can do a little bit more, a little bit less. This thickening will look different based on what font you have and what you're looking for. Now again, if you need to thicken a font a lot where it starts losing its shape or it doesn't look as similar as the original, then I really do suggest you using a different font. But learning how to use the offset panel to thicken up a font can really give you a little bit of leeway, and it's a good trick to know how to do when you're cutting with different fonts in Silhouette Studio. So if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss any more of our videos, and let us know in the comments what you liked about this video and what you want to know in some future videos.